I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I didn't understand what I was watching last night. I'm not saying that emotionally, yeah. I'm saying that from a tactical, structural, and logical point of view because I did not understand what Chelsea were trying to do at the Emirates. This wasn't one of those games where you lose and say, okay, the plan was clear, it just didn't work. This was a game where even before kickoff, the plan itself raised more questions than answers. And because let's establish one fact, yeah. Chelsea were chasing a goal before the ball was even kicked. Arsenal came to Stamford Bridge and won 3 goals to 2. And that means Chelsea went to the Emirates 1 goal down, and this was not optional aggression, okay? This was a mandatory intent, and yet what we got did not reflect the reality. And this is where my problem starts because if Chelsea wanted to attack, the lineup didn't reflect it at all. If Chelsea wanted to control, the structure didn't even support it, and defend and counter, the personnel didn't even make any sense. So, what exactly was the plan? We set up with the five at the back against one of the best defensive units in Europe and a team that thrives when you surrender territory. A side that's perfectly comfortable protecting a lead. And how do you chase a goal against Arsenal? By reducing your attacking presence. For me, that's not even pragmatism, that's contradiction. We had Palmer, Neto, João Pedro, Liam Delap, Esteval, and Garnacho, even if Garnacho is flawed. Okay, but none of this was reflected from the start. If Palmer wasn't fit, we could have João Pedro as a 10. We could have Enzo Fernandez and Moses Caicedo as a double pivot. We could have Neto on one side and another winger on the other side. At least Arsenal will be forced to think defensively. But instead, Chelsea prioritized defensive numbers and reduced vertical threats, giving Arsenal exactly what they wanted and that which was control without chaos. You do not beat Arsenal by being passive. You beat them by forcing uncomfortable decisions, and Chelsea did not do that at all. Five at the back is not automatically defensive, but five at the back without aggressive wingers is basically surrender. Arsenal's back line, Gabriel, Saliba, and fullbacks talking inside. They thrive when there is no overload, there is no runners between the lines, and not even an early threat. Chelsea's setup got the striker João Pedro isolated and no consistent half space occupation. Neither was there any early pressing triggers. So Arsenal could sit deeper, kill tempo, and wait for one moment. And that moment came in the 97th minute. This is what hurts me the most because no one wanted Chelsea to go all out, guns blazing and all that. But we needed to see controlled urgency. We needed to see calculated aggression and intent from the first whistle. But what did we see from Chelsea? Slow circulation, sideways possession, and no sustained pressure. You cannot grow into a second leg comeback away from home. And that's not how knockout football works anyway. And the cruel irony of it is that Chelsea didn't even lose because of constant pressure from Arsenal. Okay, we didn't lose because we got storms after storms or wave after waves of Arsenal attack. We lost because the game was kept alive unnecessarily and Arsenal stayed comfortable and one lapse in the game took everything. And that's what happens when you don't dictate the terms. This is not about blaming Liam Rosner because I'm not going to blame him. He does not have full control over squad selection, and Chelsea do not have Arsenal type of firepower. Another thing that's very hurtful that makes this game painful is the fact that Sky Cover early in January came out to say that he's been informed that Chelsea are not so don't see the Carabao Cup as anything important. If we win the Carabao Cup, and that's great, but if we don't, it's not the end of the world. That's the kind of mentality that uh the that's the kind of impression that the higher ups have given to Liam Rosner. Okay, that's not the Chelsea that we used to know. The Chelsea I grew up watching under Roman Abramovich fought for every trophy: the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, the Premier League, the Champions League, even the Community Shield, and every other trophy that came Chelsea's way. It just goes to show that the Carabao Cup, this game wasn't so important, because if it was, how do you rest one of Chelsea's most important player in Reece James? You rest him for the game against Wolves on the weekend. A Wolves that cannot even get 8 points. And you sacrifice Reece James for a Wolves game. It just goes to prove that Liam Rosino is not in charge of the team selection. Arsenal can bring game changers from the bench. They can bring match winners. They can boast of elite depth. And Chelsea, we don't have the kind of firepower that Arsenal have. Okay, Rosner is working with structural limitation. Is working with a team that has flaws, an imbalance between defense and attack, and that's very important if you want to be competing on all floors, on all fronts. And Liam Rosner's presser was clear. He said we stayed in the tie, and margins decided the game. The players followed the plan, and that's the worrying part for me. Because if that was the plan, then the plan was flawed from the beginning. It wasn't reckless, it wasn't naive, just misaligned with the reality of the tie, and that's the truth for me. Dan Scott, one of the pundits, said he echoed what many fans felt. He said Chelsea respected Arsenal way too much, and the setup looked like damage limitations and not recovery. The changes as well, I think it was a bit too late, because I don't know, man. The game just the game the setup from the get go wasn't just it for me at all. When neutral pundits and frustrated fans land on the same conclusion, then you know that something is off. And this is where it takes me back to the things that I've always been talking about and mentioning in the last few videos. This loss isn't just about one game. It highlights recruitment imbalance, and over prioritizing defensive depth did not even help issues at all. Lack of trusted attacking starters. Again, Chelsea didn't lack effort at all. They just lacked convictions in their attacking identity, and that's the problem for me. So I'm going to wrap up here. We didn't disgrace ourselves, but they also didn't give themselves the best opportunity, because we didn't do so much. You can accept defeats, okay, but what's harder to accept is the confusion. And last night, confusion defined everything for me. I can only mention a few players that I can give credit to, and that's Cucurella for keeping Noni Madueke in pocket for most part of the game, and João Pedro, who's looking like a man in full confidence, because his hold-up play yesterday was top-notch and quality. I don't understand how Liam Delap, who's built to be a focal point, ends up as a right-sided attacker. He struggles to even keep the ball, even playing in his preferred position. Is that not even making it harder with him on the right hand side of the pitch? Anyway, that's everything that I'm just gonna leave it at that, because I don't wanna keep going over the same thing. Let me know what you guys think about everything that I've said. What would you have done differently? And don't get me wrong, I don't think that playing in a back five is bad, but playing in the manner in which limits us attacking wise, we don't have full backs and wing backs bombing forward and trying to complement the attacks, only ends up making it difficult for the players like it did last night. And that's just because we've seen teams that set up in a back five, yet they boast of so much attacking qualities. Yesterday did not reflect that. Yesterday was in a large contrast of it. Like I said, don't forget to like this video and share this video because it's the only way to grow this community. And I really want to hear what you think in the comment section below. So let me know what you guys think and what you would have done differently. How would you have set up, and what you think about Liam Rosenau in the press after the game. And most importantly, if there's anything else that comes up, now we're out of the Carabao Cup, and that's credit to Arsenal. It's going to be very annoying because Arsenal, the only thing that is carrying Arsenal is the fact that they are very, very strong defensively. They didn't offer anything going forward yesterday. In the first half, they had nothing to offer. And that's just the annoying part. And it's now they look set to win the Premier League. They look like they're going to go far in the Champions League. And they also look like they're going to win the Carabao Cup. And this is a team that the attacking threat isn't as potent as they make out to be. What's kept them is the defensive solidity that they've boasted of from the start of the season. And that's just it for me. The only reason they will be winning all these things is the fact that the rest of the teams around them have been inconsistent. Anyway, that's everything I have. Okay, peace out.